Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Glossy Philosophy. My name is Jansen Binman. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and give this video a thumbs up because today we are doing an Elle Woods inspired makeup tutorial, so stay tuned. I've already washed my face and done my skincare, so let's get started by neutralizing the face. First, we are going to take the corrector from Bobbi Brown using our ring fingers and just lightly tap underneath the eye or anywhere where you see a little bit of that kind of blue purple peeking up, and it's a really good idea to get right in there next to the nose as well. Hello all my new subscribers, thank you so much for watching. Welcome to this channel. I hope you enjoy this Elle Woods inspired video. Just doing the same thing on the other side, just really lightly tapping. My under eyes aren't too bad, so it's better to work in really thin layers and put on a ton of product right away. It's better if you just put on those thin layers, and then as your face gets used to the makeup and your skincare continues to sink in, you can really tell where you need just a little bit extra and where you don't. Now we are moving on to correcting the eyelid area. Especially as you get older, again, depending on sleep, depending on diet, all that stuff, things are just going to start thinning out a little bit, and other things are going to start peeking through, like little veins. I know that if I don't get a really good night's sleep, then my eye area really shows, or if I'm having some major allergies, that also dictates what is happening around my eye area especially. And both are the case this morning. So we are just really taking a moment and neutralizing this and just brightening this up, especially for Elle Woods. She really had a nice bright eye, and for the time when they were filming, they weren't doing a triangle of light or anything like that, but it was a youthful makeup without being over the top. She still looks like a person. She still looks like she just quickly put on some makeup and ran out the door. She has this really beautiful balance of done and undone, which I love throughout the entire movie. The only thing that she really seems to spend time on is her lipstick. So we've neutralized the face. Now, because the lipstick is kind of the star of the show, it's a good idea to jump into that quickly. But before we do that, I'm going to continue with complexion. So I'm going to take my concealer, put it on my ring finger, split that, because again, we just want to work in those really thin layers and just really, again, lightly tapping. I do have a towel where my products are resting, so every once in a while I'm going to wipe down my fingers because they will get kind of gunked up. And so that's really important to every once in a while just kind of wipe down your hands on a clean something. I'm also going to take a brush and just make sure that everything is sitting exactly where I want it to sit. So I didn't do a big highlight underneath my eye, and my concealer is pretty much the same color as my skin. So again, we're just going for a very youthful makeup today. We're not going for anything super glamorous or out of the normal. Then I'm going to take my foundation and I'm just gonna do a few dots. Everything is looking pretty good right now, so I'm just very quickly going to put on the foundation. And I did feel like I could almost see Reese Witherspoon's skin kind of peeking through, so it didn't look like she had on a heavy foundation either. Some of the other characters in that movie definitely are wearing a decent amount of makeup, and some feel like they're wearing even less. So it's kind of fun to just explore each character and just take a moment, pause when you're watching a movie and something catches your eye, pause and try to just figure out why, like what caught my eye. Was it the outfit? Was it the whole package? Was it the hair? And then you can start to build your own style and your own makeup and your own wardrobe, kind of based on those things that really wow you in movies or TV shows. Sally Hughes is kind of known for saying, why is it okay for men to talk about sports endlessly and it's not okay for women to talk about beauty and fashion and really dive into that? Why is that faux pas? And I 100% agree with her. So I say you stop that movie and you stop that TV show and you dissect it and you find what you love and then incorporate it into your everyday. Before we go into the lips, I am going to put on a little bit of Cressida. Cressida has been my go-to, and I feel like when I'm looking at Elle Woods, she has kind of a shimmery, almost glossy lid, which was very popular around that time. So that's why I'm using a liquid eyeshadow today, and instead of just going directly from the wand onto my lid, I'm gonna take it with my fingers because, again, her makeup isn't really, it's not supposed to distract. You're not supposed to say like, oh my gosh, Elle Woods, your makeup is amazing. That's not part of her character. She's a girl who knows how to use what she has, but it's not like her calling card or anything like that. I'm also going to do a quick tight line with my Victoria Beckham Kajal liner. And I'm going to fill in the brows with my Anastasia brow definer just on the tops of that brow. Bringing in a little mirror when you need to. When the mirror off camera feels a little too far away for one of your brows, don't be afraid to get a little bit up close. But it is true, they used to say this to us at Sephora all the time, always find a moment where you can look away from the mirror or step back and then look again, because it is truly amazing. If I step out, so I do my makeup at the sink in my bathroom, if I look away for a moment and then look back, things look very different. But when you're in it, sometimes you can get a little too, you can go a little too far, or you can take your very youthful, you know, everyday makeup and all of a sudden it's like bombshell makeup and oops. So I feel like you have this innate sense of when to stop or maybe when you should slow down with your makeup application. Listen to that sense, look away or step out of the room, come back, and just reassess what is happening with the face. Plus it'll give your makeup a little bit of time to just sit and you can see what else you want to do to finish your look. So now that we basically have a good base going on, now I'm going to go in with the lip, and I'm going to use Kitten Mischief with Love of My Life. She's wearing either like a pink or a kind of corally pink lip through most of the movie, so I've also brought in Go Lightly as well. And I think I'm going to go in with Love of My Life first because it's the most potent. Go on top with Kitten Mischief, which has a little bit of a brown peach to it as well. And see where that gets us. So Love of My Life is quite pinky, and this would be great for doing a look for the trial, but this is a little bit more of kind of for everyday makeup. So lips work the same way as everything else with makeup. Thin layers, and these are luxuriously Lucent lipsticks. So they're already pretty sheer, they're already very user-friendly, and I love that you can really layer them on top of each other and create your own kind of lip look, which is so fun. And then I'm going to add in just a touch of peach. And then it feels like we have our own unique Elle Woods lipstick. This feels very Elle Woodsy to me. So now we need to go back into the eyes and make sure that we are staying true to that. I did bring down another Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner in Olive because when I was looking at her photos of Elle Woods, it did look like she had some kind of a liner or some kind of a bluey tint to it. For me, blue is not a great color for me, so I'm tweaking it a little bit to olive. But first I'm going to take my 201 into the Cinnabar palette, and we are going to be working with these colors mostly, and then we'll probably add a pop of that nice pretty gold on there. Now again, with Lisa's eyeshadows, it's really important that you almost treat them like paint. So you're not doing a big swirl like you are with some other shadows. You really want to treat it like an artist palette, like you are actually grabbing paint. And I'm just really lightly working that into the crease because again, we don't want to go overboard. The lips need to be the star of the show. However, you know, I don't look like Reese Witherspoon, so I need to make sure that I'm kind of taking her look and adapting it to my face. And just really gently blending that out, making sure it's even on both sides. And then I'm going to take my 217 and go into this darker brown. And I might even mix in a little bit of that lighter brown so it doesn't get too heavy. And just really, really lightly focus on that outer part. But again, it doesn't have to be major. I almost am closing down my lid a little bit, but I'm also lifting it with my placement. Reese Witherspoon, especially in Elle Woods, her eyes just seem so round. In order to recreate that, I have to put some darkness on the outer part so that the eye lifts up, the actual eyeball lifts up and looks a little bit more circular rather than almond shaped. And if you notice her liner also, it's not a wing, it's just a straight line next to her lashes. So we're going to take the olive and just massage that right into the roots. And then we'll smudge it out too because she doesn't have a defined line. It's just very soft. And then just really softly smudging. And that looks like a pretty good representation of what we're seeing through most of the movie. Stepping back and assessing, and everything is looking really, really good. I am feeling like maybe I just need a little bit more concealer this morning, so now's the time to do that before we start any powder products. So I'm going to make sure that my fingers are nice and clean, and I'm just going to tap that in right now. Sometimes it's really nice to go back in with concealer once you're done with the eyes because it just adds a level of brightness that you didn't have before. And it just, you know, some of your product has sunken in and moved around a little bit during the application process. So sometimes it's really nice to just go back in and redo a few things. Before we forget, let's do our mascara too. And then we can let things sink in even more. So starting with the DIOR primer to really get our lashes. It doesn't look like she's wearing false lashes, but it does look like she's wearing a decent amount of mascara just to make her eyes pop a little bit on screen. Getting right into the roots of the lashes. And just really gently tapping on that lower lash line, making sure that they're covered but not too covered. Now we are ready for blush. I'm going to keep it really youthful and I'm going to go in with that Pixie blush. I could also take my lipstick if I wanted to and do this as well, and that would be a really beautiful cohesive look. I'm going to take my foundation brush and just make sure that I don't have any edges. And now I'm ready for a little bit of powder. I'm going to use a really small brush today because I don't want anything to move. But Elle Woods' skin does look pretty matte, and so I'm going to use my Chanel powder instead of the Hourglass. If I'm using the Hourglass, the skin is going to look more skin-like, and when I'm looking at pictures of her, when I'm looking at the movie, she looks not flat, but kind of like flat in a movie way. So she doesn't have a ton of dimension to her skin, so we're going to stay true to that. And sometimes it's nice just to kind of play around with a matte, more of a matte face compared to like an everyday glowy look. do a little bit of bronzer for just a little bit of life to the skin and also just a little bit of definition. It doesn't look like there's any big contouring going on or anything like that. Again, she's just so youthful. She's so full of life. And because my shirt is open just a little bit more, I'm going to bring it down there. And that is the finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching this Elle Woods inspired makeup tutorial. I think it's really fun to look at movie characters that we feel something for and just recreate their look and see how it feels on our face. Of course, sometimes we have to tweak it just a little bit because we are not those people, but it is a really great way to find your own style and your own makeup style as well. I do fashion videos every Wednesday, beauty videos every Friday. Make sure you are following me on the shorts and on Instagram for more makeup and more outfits to make your life a little bit easier and a little bit more glossy. I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye!